What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chidi Bang with Smacktalk. I'll bring to you my little recap of Revoir show for Backlash in France, which will be taking place tomorrow afternoon. I think it's tomorrow afternoon, but let's get right into it. All right, so check us out on all the media associates. RW Podcast One is on Twitter. Let me put that in the banner, the bottom banner, so y'all can see that. And subscribe and like and do all that good shit, because we would love to pass our subscriber count right now, whatever it's at. But please, we're trying to grow. On top of that, follow us. We're on all the media socials. Revoir Wrestling on Instagram, RW Podcast One on Twitter. We're on Revoir Wrestling on TikTok. Everywhere you can find us. So we'll make sure that we put that in the bottom. Subscribe and hit that like button. But yeah, I'm about to get into the go home show for SmackDown. I know au revoir means goodbye, but hey, whatever. You're saying goodbye to the past. Now we're going to the show tomorrow. And it was interesting because when I turned on the television, the first thing I saw was Bayley. First of all, before we get to that, the arena was raucous. They were jumping, bro, the entire time. The entire night, the arena was jumping. And these international crowds they're something else, though. They're different. Last year with Puerto Rico was the same thing. I think when you have WWE enter, a different culture or a different place where they're, showing their product where they're not there often, I think the fans really do appreciate it, So it was really cool to see, just a crowd that was that fired up the entire time for, 2 hours straight. So yeah, I was really pleased with that. I definitely am going to be trying to see if one of these days I can make it out to an international event. Like if they go to somewhere like Japan, I would love to visit Japan possibly, and take some friends and family and buy a ticket and see if we can not only sightsee but go to a WWE event out there. But we've seen Puerto Rico last year. This is France tomorrow. Who knows where they're going to be? I know they got Saudi up for King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring coming up. And they do shows in Canada often, so I can also go to a Canada show. But we already know Canada's crowds are similar, in a way, where they're chanting and all that stuff. It did get to a point though where the chants did overtake some of the microphone work that people were doing in the ring, so it did get a little bit distracting at times. But what can you say? These guys don't get to see wrestling throughout the year. And if it is just on a tour, like a live event kind of tour situation, this is the first time I'm seeing it like on a television atmosphere. So tomorrow afternoon, I think it should be packed and jumping. And it's going to be interesting to see how Backlash turns out. So, but it was all good fun. I think the fans just they remind me of like a soccer fit, like a soccer, crowd, So, and soccer crowds, they don't fuck around. They're constantly chanting, constantly screaming, constantly, excited. But yeah, when you get those international crowds, it's cool to see the difference between, in America. Now, when they go to Japan, though, it's a little bit different. I've seen the Beast in the East show, and like you see the Japan crowds in NJPW as well. They're a little bit more reserved, and they're quiet. They're not as raucous. But that's what I noticed immediately. The crowds are, the seats were taken, looked like they were sold out. Bayley makes her entrance, and I see the entrance, and it's like, oh, is this I'm like, is Backlash tonight? Like, it looks like a pay-per-view kind of setup, but no. I realized right then, like, okay, they're in France. This is just how it's going to be set up tomorrow and whatever. Bayley comes out. They're singing, "Oh, Bayley, I want to know if you want to be my girl," type shit. And she's excited. She gets out a big pop. After her, Naomi comes out, big pop. After her, it was Tiffany Stratton. Low key, I was like, what's going on here? Because they said it's going to be a women's tag team match. Why are you interesting the heels right now when you only put two? Only two women came out. But I think they wanted to space out the faces a little bit, and they wanted to end off on a Bianca and Jade entrance. So we had, after Tiffany, we had the Kabuki Warriors come out, the Damage Control entrance. And then we had Bianca, then Jade, who had her, her snow and everything like that. So good match. I think that Bianca and Jade are just kind of finding chemistry right now. They did do a double team move where she did a front flip into like a gut wrench, and she gut wrenched her onto Dakota Kai in the real, or was it Kairi Sane in the middle of the ring. So I think we'll see them possibly take the tag titles tomorrow. I'm hoping that's what we see. I don't know if that's where they're going, but I think for the future of the division, the tag division, I think it'll be cool to see Bianca and Jade be the women's tag team champion. It brings a lot of star power to the titles. The Kabuki Warriors did great with it. They've won and retained the championship a couple times. So I'm all for seeing the titles change hand and seeing, let's say, we get a Candice and Indy Hartwell, maybe challenge them as well as Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. So Piper Niven. So we'll see where we can go with the women's tag division. But it was a good match all together. We also had AOP versus New Catch Republic. It was cool. I think this is the last match for the Final Testament on SmackDown. So they'll be going to Raw, and I think so is New Catch Republic. So we're seeing that feud carry over to Monday nights. The forum crowd, seemed to be even excited for that. So it was cool, but it wasn't nothing crazy. No big angles. There were no really big angles tonight altogether. So this is going to be a quick recap because this is a go-home show. The biggest takeaways are from the angles they put for the promos. There wasn't a lot to go. We already know what the card is tomorrow. So it was a lot they gave us, I will talk on a little bit about what they're setting up for the future because Mello did have a backstage angle or backstage segment where Bobby Lashley or Bobby introduced himself. Hey, man, you need anything? You need any help? You need advice? I'm here for you. And Mello's like, no, I got it. Listen, I was a first round pick last week. I was in a championship match with I was facing the champion last week. That is like, I don't need it. I don't need your help, basically. And I think Bobby took a little offense to that. He's like, listen, just watch who you disrespect. He's like, listen, I know. He's like, I know you want to shoot your shot, but like when you shoot, you gotta make those shots matter. You lost last week, and then he's like, yeah. How many times have you shot your shot? And Bobby's like, chill, like, word of advice: watch who you disrespect. So I'm not sure where we're going with this. I know back in the day we've seen the possibility of him joining the Pride, but that's when they were trying to make him heel. They were trying to make the Pride, the Street Profits, and Bobby a heel group, which it didn't really work. The fans were cheering him regardless. So now they're firmly babyface, and we'll see where that goes. We had LA Knight versus Angel Garza after that of Legado de Fantasma. So a good match as well. Good match. He just, he hit him with the BFT, killed, it was quick. But what the takeaway I got from that personally when I watched it was what happened afterwards. LA Knight got the microphone, and he claimed that he's actually going to be in the King of the Ring. So we got LA Knight in the King of the Ring. After that, Santos Escobar also claimed that, listen, you talk too much. So you know that, like, I'm going to be in that King of the Ring too. So I can see this being where they go next with Santos and LA Knight. And I see, hopefully, because we now got Gunther, we got Santos, we got LA Knight. I'm hoping that we end up with a final of LA Knight and Gunther. I think that would be a really good final for the King of the Ring. And I'm not sure how they're going to do it because back in the day, they would like maybe do a couple matches, then they would have like 4 or like maybe 2 rounds in one night. So if you're like one of the guys who are going to be in the finals, you're wrestling multiple times that night. I want to go back to that. I know it's like a little bit more taxing for the wrestlers, but if we're doing this in Saudi Arabia, like the King and Queen of the Ring, you know, next month in June, then I would think, why not? Throw them out there to, do it the old school way. Maybe not the entire full tournament. Maybe do a couple of matches on Raw, on SmackDown. But when it gets to the last 2 rounds, maybe the guys in the finals should have, or the women and men in the finals should have to wrestle 2 matches in the same night to become King of the Ring. I think it's cool to see a match where earlier in the night, or okay, who's going to be the competitor? We get in the same night a match, and then seeing them come out and having to tell a story of fatigue. I remember seeing it happen with Mick Foley back in the day. I remember seeing when Bret Hart did it, Jake Snake. I remember he was in the finals with Stone Cold Steve Austin, maybe. Yeah, when Stone Cold Steve Austin won King of the Ring. And the whole angle of like somebody has to, or let's say you got injured in a previous match and you're limping, you have a knee injury, and you got to sell that in the future match. I always like those things in the King of the Ring. So I think especially LA Knight being such a great baby face, if he's going into a match with Gunther and he's been like hurt or on his knee or his arm or whatever it may be, his shoulder, and Gunther can target that in the final match, it could bring a lot of sentiment to the match, and make him like a really sympathetic babyface. Now it can go either way. He can still win it after being harmed and hindered, because LA Knight still has not won a championship, has not won a tournament, has not won shit yet. So it'll be cool to see if he gets this opportunity to, actually become some sort of a champion. But if he doesn't, Gunther, obviously, King Gunther has a nice ring to it. So it seems like that's something that we will be seeing. If I'm picking my winner out for these 3 guys, I know we haven't seen what the rest of the card is looking like, but I can see Bobby Lashley being it, KO. I would go with Gunther. It just seems like it fits him, King Gunther. That's my pick already. Then we got the tag team title match, Street Profits versus A-Town Down Under. Really, really cool competition. So all the teams did their thing. He's I would say Montez Ford, man. He's a special cat, bro. Like the dude is a supreme athlete. How he jumps and how high he gets when he takes flight. He's one of the best to do it right now. But unfortunately, they were unsuccessful. It was sort of a clean win. I know that they had one point where Montez Ford got caught up in the ropes. The refs was like trying to see if he's all right, and Austin Theory came in, hit Dawkins with like an STO, and that then led to a package pin. I thought there should be more to the finish, bro. Like Street Profits right now have, as great as they are, I think they deserve more than just a one-off tag team title match on a SmackDown. And then what do they do now? You know what I mean? Like, what do the Street Profits actually do now? I mean, they're gonna be on SmackDown still. The Pride was drafted to SmackDown. And who was next up for a tag titles? We shall see. I hope they run this back. Put it that way. I hope they run this feud back, because I think there's more there. Street Profits deserve more than they've been given over the past. For the beginning of the year, we'll see where that goes. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, so then we had also RKO, or the RKO show. So here's the thing. I like what is going on with Paul Heyman and the Bloodline. I like what they're trying to do. Put it this way. Paul Heyman is afraid of Solo and Tama Tonga. He's telling Randy Orton and Kevin Owens to back out of the match, because right now he's out of control. They're out of control. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He's like, best interest is for you guys to not, take this match because he doesn't know what's going to happen. Um, he says that Roman Reigns, with him as champion, you guys knew what it was. It was a championship match. The rules were different. And y'all knew, as much as Roman knew, he's going to do what it takes to win the championship. But these guys are a little bit outside the boundaries of even that, of what Roman would do. So I hope and I pray that tomorrow afternoon we see what they mean by that. Like, are we going to see an example of like what Tama and Solo are doing different? What can they do different as to what Roman did? Because if they just get some interference and they win the match, that's the same shit Roman did. But Tama, like, running his car into Kevin Owens, a couple weeks ago, and coming out with blood, that's different. That's another escalation of violence that we've not seen on a regular basis from the Bloodline. You know what I mean? We've seen a little bit with The Rock, for that one angle, going to WrestleMania. But other than that, like, we haven't really seen the violence take it up since then, since the car. Now we got the car accident with Tama. Tama seemed like an unhinged savage. So we should see if they express that in the match tomorrow. Because if tomorrow is just a regular tag match, then it kind of takes the seam out of this whole angle for me to a degree. Granted, I'll still watch. It'll still be interesting. Next week they'll probably spin it and do something else, that makes people interested. It's the Bloodline angle. We've been following this for the past 4 years. I'm not gonna, just like, all right, you didn't give me blood, I'm upset. But at the same time, if you're telling me, hey, these guys should back out of this tag team match, why should it back out of this, out of all the tag matches they've had? And if they don't, use that tease they did today to show why these guys are different tomorrow, then I think it's a kind of a little bit of a wash of a tag match, to be honest with you. So I would like there to be like a certain level of violence. Maybe make it like a no disqualification match or something like that. Tornado tag. Because if you go to the end of the night after the Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles promo, which ended the night, which we'll talk about in a second, they were still fighting backstage, and that's how the show ended. So if it's that uncontrollable that you guys can't even get them to pull apart in the ring or backstage, then why are we putting any type of restriction or rules on this tag team match? Like, you expect Tama Tonga to tag in and abide by the referee's rules? I don't think so. Like, if you're going by the character they presented thus far. So I'm going to tune in and check it out, see if they follow that blueprint. But we shall see. And the last thing we want to talk about is AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes. Now, it was tough because, like I said, the France audience was going crazy, and during the promo they were, chanting all types of stuff. Half of the shit I couldn't comprehend. I don't know what they were saying. Probably was in French, or maybe I just couldn't hear it. They were going crazy. But I think with the Cody and AJ thing is gonna be a good match, but hey, it's a WWE Championship match, and the story, there's no real story to it though. Like, this is kind of like a warm up to what we can see with Cody going forward. So I'm just hoping that it's a good match at this point. They didn't say much. He said, "Hey, we're both Georgia boys." AJ said, "Hey, don't look at me like, I'm older than you, because I'm still in my prime. I still got it." Cody's like, "I didn't say that." He's like, "Yeah, but you didn't have to say that." It was just like, what is this for? Like even the contract signed last week, it wasn't like something that it just seemed like a regular contract signing last week. This week seemed like a regular, hey guys, we're gonna fight tomorrow. That's all it was. It wasn't nothing. There's no big takeaway from these promos or angles with Cody and AJ. So I'm just looking forward to the match. It's kind of like an AEW angle where it's like, who cares about what they said and did up to this point? We all know that when they get in the ring, it should be a banger. Hopefully, these guys can go. And that's how I'm approaching this. And I don't like it that way because I'm a guy who's like storytelling. But if I'm calling it out with AEW, I got to call it out with WWE. And this AJ Styles Cody match hasn't had much story to it at all. And I think there is a story to be told. Don't get me wrong. Like I think there is a story that you can fabricate or tell, but maybe they're doing the Brock Lesnar thing of last year where they don't give you much for the first match, and then they tell you it more going into the future. The rematch. So maybe AJ gets a rematch possibly, or he's sticking around and he ups the aggression on Cody for the future. Maybe he gets involved with Cody in a future pay-per-view or another title match down the line or a triple threat involved with somebody else. You never know where they're going with it. But I remember last year with Brock Lesnar angle, we had no idea why Brock attacked Cody, and we didn't know for months. And honestly, if you ask me right now why Brock Lesnar attacked Cody last year, I kind of still don't know. So it's a thing where we'll see where things go with AJ after Backlash, and possibly this is just one of those things where we just gotta accept it for what it is. And Cody ended off on a like, hey man, you're phenomenal, but I'm gonna beat you, and it's gonna be too sweet. And AJ he put up too sweet. AJ's gonna do it and slap the shit out of him. Everybody thinks like it's easy to just slap Cody now. But yeah, that's how the show ended. Actually, obviously the Tamatanga brawl with Randy Orton and KO and Solo ended the show with the backstage shot. But other than that, there was nothing else in the show. I think that this was just letting you guys know, hey guys, these are the matches we're going to be showing you down tomorrow. We got the women's tag team championship match going on. We have the Bloodline tag team match going on. Cody and AJ. And is there a mid-card title match? I don't. That's all. That's all. I think there might be a women's title match. Yeah, Naomi, Tiffany, and Bailey. So we'll chat back in with you this weekend. We'll chat back in with you this weekend just to go over and recap Backlash and the week that was in professional wrestling. But I hope that you enjoyed tonight. Thank y'all for joining me. If you have, like, subscribe, do all that good shit. All is love. Everything is wrestling, and we'll see